The blood moon. Welcome back to crypto's juiciest news, baby dolls. We are finally here. I will be doing a ritual to signify that the blood moon is here. And that is, of course, lighting the candle. Because it is a blood moon and a lot of things happen during this week. I've been receiving a lot of bad news actually in real life, friends. I know multiple people getting diagnosed with cancer. At least 2 other people with just bad news out here. There's a lot of other terrible news that's been happening. It's very weird how moon cycles, which are thought to be just these strange 50-50 nonsensical type of phenomena, it turns out in crypto, because we're paying so close attention to things, they all just seem to work. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean the prices are going to go down, but we do see bad news appear because it really does depend about the price action leading into the blood moon. Now, Bitcoin's price is around $80,000. We are on the second red monthly candle right now. I hope we can finish March with a green candle to really push us out. But a lot of people, of course, are still worried. The prices suck everywhere. I know, man. What else can we do, friends? We literally can't do anything. ETH BTC, I'm hoping this was like its little divergence thing and it's made its final low. But like, we need this thing to shoot back up. Can it even do that? I don't know. Or is it going to take time and do that? That's going to be a while if it starts to do that. Do we even have enough time to do that? That's crazy because the last time I did this period took about 1.5 years. So does that mean we're going to take another 1.5 years before we get up? I don't know. Ethereum has been extremely weak. I'll be honest, I'm a bit worried about it. Not worried as in like what the future holds, but just I'm like, is this going to be one of those things with Ethereum where we're like, hey, why is the price action so weak? Are we getting scammed? But then something bad happens to the economy later on, and then we end up saying, oh, it was just front running the bad stuff. That's what I hope doesn't really happen. Now, I've got some very, very juicy news here for you. I mean, like the green weekly super trend is still intact. A lot of people are saying the cycle is over. A lot of people, friends. And so here's the thing, right? If you do polls, 65% of people believe the cycle's on. 35% believe the cycle's over. So you will think, oh, the majority says it's still on, so therefore everyone's wrong. No. The crowd is correct in the middle. Okay, it's only at the extremes that the crowd is lopsided. So when you have 65-35, bull market on, bear market on, like that, you're pretty balanced. That's an upwards trending market, okay? If you want to know what the polls were like at the top of 2021, it was more towards 80-85% said the bull market's on. Yeah. And only like 10 to 15% said it's over. Very wild. And I remember that. Because you can't just be and sit contrarian on everything, friends. Because if you're contrarian to everything at every time, you're going to miss the repricings of moves. You're going to think every fundamental move up is just fake, when we know that's not to be the case. Now, if I have a look at, just a deeper look on the Bitcoin daily chart, we are just hoping that this level holds down here, around $80,000. Could we have another step down? Always, man. Markets can always go do whatever the hell they want, right? But for now, it seems to be nicely holding. I know it doesn't feel nice in altcoin land, but really that's outside of our control as well. You know, the Bitcoin dominance, I know it's a weekly chart. It is still very, very, very high, very high. But I've seen a lot of comments as well, friends. A lot of people, I know everyone's like lashing out. A lot of people feeling negative. But people who are lashing out, before you lash out, I want to ask you a question, okay? Because none of you can answer me this. You call certain coins garbage, yeah? Pulse Chain's easy target. Anything to do with DeFi and Ethereum, easy targets. Aave, Chainlink, Uni, Ethereum, everything. You call everything garbage, okay? What do you think is good though? Because no one can answer me that. Because they actually only come to 2 things. They say Bitcoin and Solana. Well, it's interesting with markets, right? Bitcoin, you're saying it's amazing. I'm saying it's extremely expensive. It's never been this expensive before. It's been like an extreme amount of expensive. Yeah. So it's interesting. You're saying, oh, it's amazing. And I'm saying, no, because it's high. It's expensive. Okay, but that's the time for you to sell. Do you own it? Do you own a lot of it? I got Bitcoin. Are you selling your big stack? Are you selling all your stack? If you don't have it, then you don't care, man. You shouldn't care that it's expensive. If you do have it, you should be happy to get rid of it. Interesting how that works. What about Solana? Well, with Solana, obviously, why does everyone say it's amazing? It's because of its run last year. Look at this sold BTC ratio now, though, as each week passes on. What if you can't make a higher high after the Sol ETF? What if that happens? You see, so when it comes down to it, most people, I understand, it's just a psychology. We have red candles in a period of a Bitcoin halvening, post-Bitcoin halvening year bull market, where we've never had like it this bad before, which sucks. A lot of people say that the 40 cycle is broken. I don't think this whole 40 cycle is broken. You got to remember, the fractal we're repeating, the similar ghost spirit of 2017, was a gargantuanly huge bull market double bubble alt season. So we can cut off half of that and then we just get normal returns, you know, because our market cap is bigger and there's been multiple cycles under our belt. Now, friends, let's crack on to the news, okay? So we have Trump family wants to buy a share of Binance, which is very interesting. The Trump family have approached CZ, and this comes off the back of the news. Remember, yesterday, Abu Dhabi, the MGX, I think, exchange, they bought $2 billion of Binance. So CZ actually sold them the share. I think he owned 60 billion worth. I don't know who he bought 2 billion off, but they bought a piece of it. That's how you cash out, pretty much. It's pretty much cashing out, right? A lot of people, like myself included, we think CEXs have topped, and this is them cashing out. Centralized exchanges. And that would be the truth. If you actually listen to CZ's interviews from years ago, friends, he's always been saying DeFi is the future. And like the CEXs are just there until like DeFi completely takes over. He said this like in 2020. I still remember his interviews. But it's funny, no one's paying attention to that. So it is what it is, right? It's interesting. That's what they do. They cash out at these periods of times, right? CZ also confirms that there are rumors of CZ asking Trump for a pardon. They are fake. Probably put out as a hit piece from woke media. So that's what they did. The woke media tried to say that CZ was begging Trump for a pardon. I actually think Trump should pardon him. I think it's because you're not allowed into the USA if you have a criminal record. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong with that one. But also, CZ made a post, and it's actually true. CZ was the only guy in US history to go to jail for BSA. I don't know what the BSA stands for. Probably like banking, soy allegations. The only guy in history. Even after the GFC literally ushered in a 12-year Great Depression with purchasing power loss. No one ever went to jail. It's just CZ. That's just how it works, right? Corruption to the core. And also, yeah, it's because, you know, Rocco Negra, they're the government's wallet. They don't want the Chinese exchange to do all the volume. They want it to be Coinbase because they can control Coinbase. Coinbase is America first. It's an American company. They have an American stock. That's what they want. Now, having some fun as well, friends. So egg prices have finally started coming down. Finally, egg prices have obviously been going through the roof. What's been happening out there? I've got my egg, which is a Pokeball. Got you. So a lot of the commodity and food prices have been going nuts. We also saw in the last session as well, there was the US PIPI, which is a PPI, otherwise known as a PIPI, and the number was lower. But the components that go into the PCE, the actual CPI part, those parts were higher. So it's a market smart. It's kind of funny, right? The number was lower, but the stock market went down anyway. And people were confused. And it was because all the quant nerds, they look at all the data components coming out. They calculate their own CPI stuff. And they saw that the prices that are obviously going into predicting CPI, the little parts there, they actually gone up. That's what happened. Now, friends, interesting news. Uncle Jim Cramer confirms himself as the inverse oracle god, as we just saw the S&P 500 make a lower low after he gets bullish. Now, this is the S&P 500 on a 4-hour chart. He gets bullish. What happens? I'll come back down here. I wonder what's going to happen with the S&P 500. We made confirmed lower lows on the daily chart, but really it's outside of our control anyway. The stock market's the big daddy. A lot of people are worried that the rotational top is in and everything is going to crank out. But man, like, look, you ever wonder, right? You ever see the stock market dips from like, 50 years ago, 80 years ago when they dropped down 10%, 15%? If you go and check the newspaper clippings or whatever the TV was saying at the time, it's the same shit as now. It's always market sells off on recession fears. Just recession fears. What's recession fears? It's just like, oh, things are just going to get shit. That's it. That's what it means. Literally, everyone's like, I just don't think things are going to be good. I'm out. So everyone just agrees, I think it's going to be bad. It's kind of like, I think it's going to storm next week. I don't know. You just have these random periods where you're just like, it's going to rain next week. I don't like it. So it's constantly doing that. The market's always doing that. And it's like, it's a guarantee of markets. They're always going to get into these pendulum swings of like, I'll give up. Okay, so, and yeah, sometimes, guess what? Those give up periods turn out into big storms. They do. So that's why it's very hard to navigate these with pinpoint precision. But like I said, man, I use some guiding principles. A lot of people think like, we didn't have to have Euphoria here. We didn't have any Euphoria. They sound like a lot of people, friends, they only mention one example in crypto history. Have you noticed? November 2021. That's all they mention. When it comes to like, is a top in, and it's always November 2021. It's PTSD. Every KOL, every retailer talks about this. When we had a complacency high and then we came back down. So it's PTSD. You have anchor bias. You're literally anchoring to this one data point. And you have recency bias because the last bad thing that happened in the cycles was a PTSD complacency top. Okay, because what they're doing, friends, is so let's look at post-Bitcoin halving years. Others BTC, and we had Euphoria up here. Yeah, they did not count that. They did not count Euphoria here or here with others BTC. So now there's three. That's 3 out of 4 scenarios, and they did not count Euphoria here and Euphoria here. So out of 6 old season waves, they're only focusing on the one. Have you noticed that? You have noticed that now. They're only focusing on this complacency, which was basically people thought, myself included, altcoins hadn't run up enough. But then it turns out others BTC was going up. Why? Because some new coins were coming out and grifting everybody with minted supply. Plus, NFT market was going nuts. And it was onboarding a lot of new people in the world. That was actually happening in this complacency rally. Yeah. But 90% of altcoins did not make a higher high. So, but here's the thing. Those higher highs of the altcoins, they did make pumps in old season wave 1, which we haven't even had yet. So that's why, like, if you look deep, depends. I know on the surface, like, bulls all sound like retardios. Every bull sound, I know, sounds like naive. I look at myself like, man, am I really even sure this thing's going to move again up? I don't know. Look, I'm just telling you though, it's true, man. I mean, look at it. They're all anchoring into that one event. They have PTSD, true PTSD. They're like, oh, remember that time, the complacency of this time. But you sound exactly like Crapo with the zombie virus stuff. Exact same thing. You go back to zombie virus 2020. Oh, we dropped 75%, and then the Fed had to put rates to 0, and the world was over. What if we don't get that, man? Why don't those people go back to 2017 cycle, where interest rates were going up? There wasn't a QE. Interest rates went up. China had to do the QE. China printed. Because the US dollar was going down and China was slowing down and China was allowed to print. Why didn't they talk about that cycle? Trump was in back then. And it was inflationary. And the US yield curve kept pricing in higher rate hikes. There was no cuts priced in whatsoever. I've shown you this. On this chart right here, friends. Look at the purple line. You've shown this. Look at this. This is purple. Interest rates. So interest rates, you can see on the far right column here. They came up from like 0. And look, in 2017, like they were hiking rates. Look at this. Hike, hike, hike. By the way, old season wave 1 was here, man. Friends, they literally hiked. Oh my gosh, is this real? They hiked from Wow. Think about this, friends. Okay, into 2017, rates was 0.6, and they went to like 1.25, I think, up here. Let's actually check it out. This is wild, man. So actually, yeah. So yeah, based on that chart, they hiked like 4 times, man. They literally hiked 4 times, and we freaking had the biggest alt season ever. Literally, ETH BTC. How about that, friends? Think about it. That is wild. Okay. ETH BTC still has not hit this ratio point, and the US Fed hiked 4 times in everyone's face. No QE. They're trying to tighten. Why don't they ever use this example? Because, you know, friends, what you'll notice is as people get into markets more, they become more pessimistic. They become more skeptical of opportunity. Their risk tolerance goes lower and lower. And the fear component of when you lost everything, it weighs in on your mind so much. So you become more conservative as you age, right? Because you remember, friends, it's been 4 or 5 years. People in that time, they've had more kids. They've had a cycle under their belt. They're seeing more and more scams coming that just don't work, right? That's what's been going on. Now, in true fashion, the blood moon is here. The lunar eclipse is coming. Okay, here we are, the last days right now. We've had like literally 20 pieces of good news and we dump. Maybe this blood moon appears and then we just go up. Maybe it is that. Shout out to my friend, Mr. Dirty Crypto. November 8th, blood moon, FTX collapse. March 14th, 2025, blood moon. And then US business tax is due. Wow. So yeah, I'm wondering that'll be, friends. I hope there is I hope there's selling off going on right now, and the reason is US taxes are due. Whoa! I'm like, that's a cool blood moon. That's a very easy one we can deal with. Oh, the prices are going down because taxes are due. Oh man, I've got some copium to go here for you as well. Check out President Pump and the tweets he's doing, and you're just gonna read these. Notice the capital letters. I want you to notice just the tone. Let's read through them. It really feels like he's trying to get like a blood moon dump. It really does, man. Check it out. Trump, we're going to have to make a deal on Greenland. I think annexation of Greenland will happen. So that's him quoting himself. Elon Musk made secret visit to National Security Agency. Musk held secret discussions with US intelligence agency. Meta, Trump, Facebook is going to invest $60 billion by end of year. Trump, shutdown might lead to very, very high taxes. So it just feels like these random news events coming out. They're fishing for it. The market's fishing for it. What's it going to land on? I'm hoping, because altcoins, friends, have been like so destroyed. If there's some sort of blood moon news, I'm hoping like it's more of a Bitcoin focused thing, not altcoins. But what can we really do at this point? We're literally really still down here. This is others BTC, and this is another picture of the same chart. Yeah, we've had 4 red candles down, man. Man, like it's weird, friends. Look, I told you I could look around. I'm like, man, everyone wants to cheat early. But remember, I was hopeful that instead of rallying 10x for everyone, we rallied 3 and then they cheat back down. We didn't even rally at all. That was the sad part. There was no 10x or 3x rally. There was literally just down 60%. It's crazy how markets work, right, friends? But like, hopefully, now that we're down here, people are saying, oh, cycle's broken. The cycle doesn't apply. And then we just go back up right on cue. I hope that happens. Now, friends, I'm going to show you some Bitcoin dominant stuff. But first, I want to go through some Crypto Crew University Steve things. So I like Steve. Steve, Crypto Crew University. He's a very nice man. Respect for Steve. We all love Steve. A lot of you guys watch him as well. He's one of the biggest KOLs. He's got like 400,000 followers. He's basically called the top to be in. Now, I don't want to inflame you, or I'm not here to trigger anything, okay? I'm just telling you, I'm going to translate his words, okay? So, what KOLs do, friends, a lot of people, they never go all in or all out. They always hedge themselves, right? You got to remember, I know Steve's nice, but he is selling like how much does it cost? Like $1,000, $2,000 or $3,000 trading courses as well. So if you're selling a trading course, like you have a necessity to like not look wrong, right? You have an incentive not to, because you're selling trading courses, man. You're selling people using indicators and trading methods out here. So like, and here's the thing, Fred. So you say, Sommi, what's the difference with you? The difference with me is, one, I'm not selling shit. And two, I don't care if I'm wrong. Every single week for 4.5 years, I don't care. I literally don't care. Okay? Because I know when the home run comes and I'm right, I smash it out of the park. Hello, that's the 4-year cycle. That's crypto, Bitcoin, altcoins. Okay? I know that. I don't make any money in between. You know, the market doesn't pay us for that. If you want to make money on being the right or wrong, go back to day trading, man. I was day trading, friends. You can do that. You can get your little dopamine hits if you want, but you're gonna underperform holding. So now that you've seen the difference between their friends, that's why I'm not here to inflame anyone or anything, but I'm just being honest. I'm just calling a spade a spade. So it's basically said that the top is in. Okay, now Steve makes a lot of videos. He makes bullish video and a bearish video. He does, right? But he said that the top is in, and this chart is a zoom up of the monthly candles. You notice how we had 2 red monthly candles, gruesome candle. He's talking about this gravestone thing out here. He's paying close attention to that. Now, I'll just let you go through this. So he said there's, I think stochastics or the RSI or whatever. He goes, there's bearish divergence. So basically Bitcoin, on his bigger charts, right? Bitcoin having the short and sharp pump up here to 100K has made like a divergence, I guess, on the indicators, right? On the indicators. That's number one. Now, I'm going to paraphrase his words. Don't get inflamed, friends, because like I'm translating here for you, okay? So he basically said, and by the way, he actually did say these quotes. He said, in November 2021, people said there was no alt season and no euphoria, so they held on to the bear market anyway and got wrecked, okay? So he's talking about here. He goes, hey, man, you guys all said no alt season, no euphoria, and that was the top. Okay, and I don't know if he called the top here. Maybe he called it after it reversed down and said it was over. Now, at the end of his video I watched, he said this, and I'm going to translate it. He said, okay, the top's in, pretty much. But it can, in the last 60 seconds, he goes, it can get saved if 2 big key things happen, okay? He says, 1, price structure has to hold. And 2, the stochastic RSI indicator reverses up. But friends, because you're dealing in like these 1 and 3 month time frames, basically what he said is the top is only not in if the price goes up. Okay? So like what if you go back here, what does like if you're on a monthly chart, I'll show you the monthly chart here. What does structure has to hold? What does that mean, man? That means, okay, if your candle goes like this, oh cool. It means the structure held. Yeah, but excuse me, bro. The price is 120K now. You go, oh, that means the top's not in. See what I mean? So it's basically, friends, because there's no free lunch here. Okay. If you think the top is in, you sell now. And then if you believe 120, it's going to continue, you buy back in with a stop in above 110. That's it. Otherwise, you stay short. That's if you wanted to play it like that. Okay. Now, once again, it's like, I know how KOLs and stuff talk. We all know about it. Everyone jokes about it. That's how they have to talk, really. Because like, it's a game of probabilities. And everyone knows that. So you can't deal with certainties. You can't. But also that's why in a game of probabilities, every year that you spin the wheel and that you stay alive, you have a certain percentage of like hitting a moonshot, yeah? Every year. Maybe it's like 30%. But it's not 100%. So that's why what you and I are doing when we're holding spot long term, we're like, hey man, I hope in the next couple of years we hit the moonshot. We just keep spinning the wheel, right? But it kills everyone. Because that's a long time, number one. And number two, they can't deal with odds that low. They're like, I want to get paid now. Which I completely get. I'm like, oh, I want someone to tell me the top is in or not in. You know what I mean? I know we want that. But the market doesn't give a shit what we want. You know how these things play out. We've done all the research. I'm willing to accept, okay, is the bull market over? Okay, yeah, if it's over, whatever. I'm going down with the ship and I'll go. What do you do next? Okay, DCA buy more. If it's still cheap now and it goes in a bear market, it goes double cheap. So that's why I'm helping you navigate these, how I navigate these, friends. Because look, I'll be honest, man, his friend Steve is a lovely man. I love listening to his stories. He's very humble. He travels the world. He's a maverick. He called the bottom here with me. He was literally the only guy bullish. Me, him, and BCB, I think, if I remember. And like literally all 30 other people were gone. So, yeah, it's very nice, man. But also, here's another thing. I'll just tell you as well. Steve was really bearish here. Bitcoin spot ETF. He was really bearish. And he kept on the warnings and warnings and warnings. But then Bitcoin, for a whole month, did the killer candle. From 42K after the spot ETF, went up to 66K. And then it did another killer candle to 73K. So this, you know, making multiple videos a week for like this literal period of like literally 8 weeks. You gotta understand, like, this was happening. And like, it was pretty much like, it just killed that doubt I guess he had. But I'm just highlighting a point where like he was making a lot of warning videos. I remember his warning videos out here around the Bitcoin spot ETF. His videos were saying they're lying to you. This is not the beginning of the big rule run stuff out here. So like I'm paraphrasing the words, but you get the point, because the indicators were higher back then. Yeah. So after seeing that, what am I gonna do? Okay, what do I do? Well, remember, friends, I told you I was gonna go into the Bitcoin dominance and show you stuff, right? So when Steve or anyone else says, oh, you're just in cope mode because there was no euphoria, huh? No, there was euphoria. It's just you were not in it. I'm going to show you something, man. This is the Bitcoin dominance, okay? Bitcoin dominance. Now, remember, friends, all others, BTC, Bitcoin dominance, they're all saying the same thing, right? They're measuring altcoins and Bitcoin ratio. In every single asset cycle in human history, stock market, commodities, crypto, when the spear goes towards running out of buyers' prices, which means high enough, the other risky things, which require more confidence to step in, rise up. And the crowd gets happy. Speculation goes rampant out here, all right? In crypto, we've got Bitcoin, spear. Then we have altcoins, all right? Now, altcoins, friends, you look at the Bitcoin dominance if you want to, or others BTC. Bitcoin dominance has literally been, since 2024, this line here, in the first time in history, out of 4 data points, Bitcoin dominance has gone up only straight. Okay, first time. And friends, and look at the RSI on this weekly chart. It's been going down. It's been downtrending here. And the price action of this has been going up. Now, why did Bitcoin dominance go up? Who the hell cares? You got a bit of North Korea, scum Lazarus. They steal that $1.5 billion of ETH. They dump the ETH, right? You have Michael Chad Saylor bought an extra $16 billion of BTC. You have that. You know what I mean? You have Vitalik with the soy, Ethereum third cycle curse. You see? You have all those things piled up. Then you have the business ISM, record 26 months, dog shit, still hasn't ticked up to 52. Yeah, you see all those. The US dollar still taking its time to turn around. So you can explain all the reasons, but they're going to be different reasons next time. Yeah, they are going to be different reasons next time. But this is what I'm looking at, man. This, like, you want to say, oh, euphoria? I don't want to go off people's feelings. Even though you and I, friends, we are in the market looking for top signals. Is Ty Lopez here and stuff out here? Remember my exotic top signals I've gone through with you 2 days in a row. Did we see Ty Lopez come back? No. Okay. Yeah, but that's a bit weird for me to rely on. All right, sweet. Did we see Coinbase App Store ranking hit #1 spot? No. What about even top 10? No. No, it didn't. Didn't even hit top 10. Okay. What about public ICOs? Because you gotta remember, friends, why are public ICOs a sign of euphoria? It's because everybody can enter in the world. They're public. So we were the top signal in PulseX and Pulse Chain. All right, we were the top signal. We raised 1.1 billion for PulseX. All right, and Pulse Chain was 600 million. So they're near the end, right? What was the biggest raise we've seen with a public ICO? Honestly, it's been dog shit. It's been like 50 million. And that was for a Solana meme coin and then a rugged anyway. So we had 4 billion in EOS 2017, 2018. We had 1.1 billion in 2021. We have not had any public ICO whatsoever this cycle yet. The biggest was literally, I'm not even joking, I don't even think it was 50 million. It was something like 30 million. And then a rugged, like I said, 28 million or 30 million rugged. It was Solana meme trash. So like, we have not even gotten started. Okay. Now, I don't know when we're going to start. I'm hoping we're starting now. I keep saying that. But we haven't started, dude. That's not euphoria. Okay, so where's the public ICO raise? Where is it? I don't see any of them. Like, you know, if we were in a world, friends, where something raised 700 million and I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, look, I still think we're going to hit $1 billion public ICO raise, but 700 million is concerning because if it ends there and we didn't get out, that sucks, right? But we're not there yet, man. We're not even close yet. Now, friends, that's why do people invest? By the way, you gotta think, why would people invest in a public ICO like that? It's because altcoins have gone up heaps, which means people were euphoric. Why did people do the Pulse Chain and PulseX sacrifice? Because Hex went up. Thank you. Because Hex went up. Why did Hex go up? Because Ethereum went up heaps. You get it? So there are no signs of euphoria. And that's what this chart says. Bitcoin dominance is going up. Bearish divergence on it. It hasn't started. Remember, friends, I made the dark prophecy, man. I was talking about dark prophecies when you were all still sucking on your mum's teats out in the farm stable. I was talking about dark prophecy years ago. Okay? I know the condition for the dark prophecy. Everything I said about dark prophecy came true except the most important finishing trigger. Altcoins were not euphoric. Yeah. We did not get enough people of the retardio type to come in and buy altcoins in 2024. We didn't. Now, of course, people always say, what about the memes? What about the JPEGs? What about them? Yeah, what about them, man? They're tiny. Look at Bitcoin dominance. They never went up enough. Nothing ever went up enough. Unless you really believe that this time is different. And instead of, say, a $100 billion coin, people bought into 100 $1 billion coins and they traded them. It could be, friends. It just, I don't want to, it sounds like a mid-curve thing to me, to be honest. Now, I actually want to show you something as well. My straight posture and my pointy elbows. But look at this. Look at the Bitcoin dominance on a monthly chart. These are monthly candles, okay? Look at the RSI, friends. The RSI here has never been this expensive before. This is literally just fact. Bitcoin dominance has never been this expensive before. Now, if you look at the absolute price, okay, but let me give you an example, okay? What do you think is more dangerous? Someone speeding 110 kilometers or 110 miles in a 100 zone? Do you think that's dangerous? Its speed limit's 100, but he's doing 110. Or if the speed limit in a school zone is 10 and the guy is driving 80 miles an hour. What do you think is more dangerous? Now, you might say, oh, the 100, and say some people say, oh, 110 is going fast. It is what it is, okay. But what about the other context? What about you go, maybe the school zone thing, maybe that's actually more dangerous. You're doing 8 times the freaking limit, bro. And the other one, you're only doing 10% times more. Do you see what I mean? So it's a matter of perspective. That's what I'm saying here. With this RSI, we've never been this expensive before. Okay, so obviously we thought it was going to go okay and round down. It didn't. It went up. But that's why, friends, that's why, look, we've had this long-term view from the start. we didn't say, well, I didn't say, you can do what you want. I didn't come to a point where I'm like, okay, if we haven't gone up by next week, Tuesday, I'm actually selling everything and I'm out. People with short-term mindsets like that get wrecked. So what about the copium, huh? You want the copium? I'll show you some copium friendship. This is, I think, Mr. Colin Crypto. He's got the global M2 money supply and he shifted the money supply by like 70 days or whatever it is. And look at this, friends. We're ready to go, man. We're ready to go, friends. We're literally ready to go. Now, just to let you know as well, there's an 80% chance it correlates. Okay, it's 80%. So there you go. Pretty much 4 out of 5 times, it's going to follow. 4 out of 5 times. But look at it. We just had the time where it didn't follow. Look at this. So if you were betting on this thing here going down, look what actually happened. Bitcoin went up to 105K. You see that? So let's check that out. There you go. There's a divergence there. That's why it's like, 4 out of 5 times it works. Here's that 1 out of 5. It goes the other way. So now, obviously, we're hoping that the path of friendship comes. And we're ready to just start working our way up. Okay? Now, here's the thing. What if it doesn't work? Okay, what if it doesn't work? I don't know. I'll make another fractal. We'll find something else. That's the whole game. The whole game. All the money is made in the waiting, Habibi Albi. All of it. And I think that calls for some celebrations. All the money's made in the waiting. All of it. And it's not linear. That's the tough part. Okay. This is Bitcoin. Here's its chart. And you have its 14-day RSI. So it's basically a 2-week RSI. Just a 2-week chart, right? And look at it. Every time you hit like this, extreme periods. Extreme. Because it's a big time frame, it's nice, friends. 2 weeks is good. 2 weeks is hard to scam. Sometimes on the weekly, you always get a bounce, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to continue for like months, right? On that 1 week. When you go in the 2 week and the monthly, you have a bigger shot, a nicer shot. Friendship. Friendship is on the horizon. So I've got a message here from Mr. J Plus replying to my post from Steve's post here. It's a genuine 50-50 for me. But even in the event of the poopy side of the coin, there is a certain % chance for a 2021 type move with a double top or stab to the new high. If we are unlucky and we get toasted, hopium mode will be the next cycle is very left translated. Yes, sir. So look, okay, there were 6 events, 6 alt seasons. One of them didn't include all of us. One of them. So if you want to focus, that was November 2021. Because the alt season went to NFTs, a whole new sector. Yeah, most of the money went there. So how much weight do you want to give to that? Like that's, to me, okay, it's basically taught us, okay, 1 in 6. That's a fair shot. So where does that leave us? Well, back to the weekly super trend, friends. It's still green. Can we stab back down, scare everyone? Of course. We're going to always do the stabberoonies going back down, of course. But also, on top of all these things, friends, I really, like, I just keep coming back to this, bro. Like, what is this, dude? What is this? I bet it better be BlackRock. I hope to God it just turns out that if we just do a V reversal up, we'll know there was deep manipulation. Okay, if we do a V reversal. It means someone forced this lower all the way down. There's been some coordination to do that. Okay, there is. But we'll see how it plays out from here. Don't forget, he loves you, friends. Like, subscribe, bell button, I'll catch you soon.